What's happening, YouTube family? Mikhail here with another video. I hope you all are having a great weekend. It's been really cold in Ohio, so we really haven't done much. Actually, you know what? This morning, I had a really great opportunity to get out and film a little commercial, a little teaser for one of my friend's company. Anyways, I digress. Today we're gonna be talking about something really cool. Have you noticed how some photographers, maybe photographers that you follow, have this certain aesthetic, certain look to their images, and you wonder, like, how are they able to keep that look consistent through their Instagram grid, through their portfolio, and you're left wondering how they do that. Well, a lot of them achieve that through something called presets or actions. Actions are for Photoshop and presets are for Lightroom. So you've probably seen photographers advertise their preset collection, and they would tell you, hey, you know, buy my preset collection if you want to achieve the look that I have from images. And a lot of the times, maybe you would buy that preset and you'll be left confused and frustrated because it looks nothing like what you bought. So today we're gonna try to solve that problem by teaching you how to create your own look and create your own presets. So yeah, today's episode you're going to learn how to create your very own Lightroom preset. So let's get to it. The first thing you need to know before we get into Lightroom to start working on this is that a preset is not the ultimate solution to your editing problems. A preset is going to be the first coat that you apply to an image, but you still have to tweak it, right? So part of what I would recommend through this video is that you don't just create one, but you create multiple presets in your collection that would work in different scenarios, and we'll work through those, because I've chosen I think 5 or 6 images that we're going to go through that will show you how one preset can affect an image differently depending on the lighting scenario. So yeah, remember that whatever preset you create is not going to be the ultimate one-stop solution to editing, but it's going to save you a lot of time in the long run. So all right, let's get into Lightroom. Okay, so now that we're in Lightroom, we are going to create that preset that will carry your image consistency, that will carry your image's look all the way across in your portfolio, in your Instagram grid, however you decide to use your images. So as you can see on the left here, we have the presets tab, and I've created a tab that says tutorial, and I'm actually going to delete that just so you can see how it was created. So now we are going to edit this image. I have pulled actually 5 images just so I can show you how one preset reacts to different images, because remember, a preset is not the one-stop solution for your editing. You will still have to do some sort of editing using your presets. So you apply your preset and then you go through all the micro adjustments that you need to do to bring that image and make them look nice while keeping the same consistent type of look. So let's edit this image of my son Benjamin, my little Benji. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it more contrast. I like my images to have a lot of rich colors. I'm going to add a little bit of vibrancy and a little bit of saturation. And then I'm gonna actually tone down the highlights, tone down the whites a little bit, bring in the shadows, bring down the blacks. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I'm gonna bring down the shadows, bring the highlights actually down where they are, everything down. So like I like a lot of contrast in my image. Now something that you want to remember when you're creating your preset is that you don't want to adjust the exposure or the white balance, because the exposure and white balance changes from image to image. You don't take every picture in the exact same kind of lighting scenario or under the exact same light. Sometimes you do. And that's how you can get away with doing applying a preset, making an adjustment, and then doing your batch editing. And if you haven't watched that video, I'm going to link it on the corner above. But just remember that while you're creating your presets, you don't want to add any change on white balance, which is temperature and tint, or exposure. Now, something else I'm going to do here is go into the details. I am pretty happy with everything in here. I'm going to the tone curve. I'm gonna grab and drop a little dot here, another dot here, and another dot here. I'm gonna make a little S curve to give it a little bit more punch. Just a tad, that's the thing. If you go too hard with this, it starts to look really wonky. So do little micro adjustments. And gonna drop one here and bring it down and bring this one up. Control Z will get rid of that, or Command Z if you're on a Mac. I'm gonna drag this up just a tad to clip the blacks just a little. Now this bottom side of the tone curve will adjust your darks. This will adjust your brightest point. So as you can see the histogram here, and it's showing me that I have a lot of dark in this image, right? So now I'm gonna go to the HSL tab, and I'm going to control specific colors. So like I said, I like a little bit vibrancy and saturation and color in my images. So I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna push the reds a little bit. I'm gonna push the orange, yellow, green, aqua, blue, and you can adjust this a lot more intensely as you do the pictures more and more and more. So for this one, after I adjusted this, I noticed that the reds and the orange will affect the skin tones. So I'm gonna bring those down just a tad, and I'm gonna bring the orange down just a tad. Now this is something that you have to fix if you plan on using my presets, these presets, just as I've created it, especially if you're taking fall photos, like autumn color photos, because it will kill the oranges. So now you can adjust the luminance, which is the brightness of each color on this one here, and the hue on the overall image, the hue shift with each color. So a lot of people likes to have teals and reds and blues and pinks on their images. I try not to mess with these too much. So, and I won't. I actually do a little, but I won't for this tutorial. So now I'm gonna go to split toning, and I'm gonna add a little bit of warmth to the highlights. And I'm gonna add a little bit of cool to the shadows, just enough cool, just a little tiny bit. Lens corrections, transformations, effects, and calibrations is not something that we're gonna be doing today. So now that I've got my image where I want it, I'm going to adjust the exposure and the white balance, just to be a little warmer. So this is definitely not how I would finish this image, but for the sake of the tutorial and just showing you how this is done, I will leave it there. So now I'm going to go to this little plus sign here on the left side where the presets tab is, and click create preset. Now I'm gonna check everything in here except exposure and white balance, for the same reason that I told you guys about, is that you don't want to apply this preset to another photo and change the white balance and exposure according to what we have in this image, because again, not every light scenario and white balance and color tone scenario is the same. So that's the last thing you want to adjust. That's something that you want to adjust on every image manually. So we do want to change the contrast, highlight, shadows, white clipping, black clipping, tone curve, clarity, dehaze, sharpening, all the colors. Split toning is something that we did. Graduated filters and radial filters, we're not using any of that. However, you could add a radial filter or graduated filter to your image, and you will have that. And I will show you an example of that here in a moment. We didn't do anything else. Something that you want to always check is your process and calibration, and that will keep your preset all through Lightroom's updates. So we're gonna go ahead and hit create, and in order to hit, and before we do that, we want to give it a name, right? So we are going to name, before we do that, we want to give it a name, right? So we are going to name this guy tutorial test, and we are going to put it on the new group called tutorials. So I'm going to create it. Now you can name this anything you want. I'm going to create now, and it's going to appear right here. In here you have your preset. So I'm going to take that same preset and go to this image, and now I can simply click, and all I have to adjust now is my exposure and my white balance. Again, this is not a finished image. This is probably not how I would finalize my personal presets, but that's something that I would actually like. Here's another image. This is a different lighting scenario. We have a little bit of mixed lighting, so I'm going to apply that preset again, and it makes everything a little warm, right? Because we did add a little warm tint to the shadows. So maybe we can go back to the HSL panel. To the split toning panel, and then dial this down just a little bit on the saturation side, about half maybe. And on the basic panel, adjust your white balance accordingly and your exposure accordingly. So let's give this a little bit more. And I like stuff to be like kind of in the darker side, so like there's a little quick edit using your preset. And this is gonna be your example. I can apply this, and because we've chosen a very warm preset, this is gonna edit this way. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my temperature, bring it down to what it will look more normal. So there you go. We are using all the same preset to apply to all these images, and we are just adjusting the exposure and temperature. And that, friends, is how you create a preset. Now, I have my own preset collection in here that I like to use. And for example, this image, right? I'm going to go ahead and create and reset everything on this image. And I'm going to apply my filter, the filter that I see fits best. And I have a couple different collections, something that is more film, something that is just normal. So El Clasico will give you a little bit more color punch and contrast. I can just go ahead and adjust this brightness here and adjust my temperature. And that's what I would do with that. So now I'm gonna hit reset again, and I'm going to apply Bare Mountain Film. Bare Mountain Film is just a little bit more filmy looking, but still retains all the rich colors. Now I'm going to show you an example of another use for the preset. So I'm going to choose this black and white called Graphite Stage Light. Now Graphite Stage Light is a really rich dark black and white, but at the same time I kept it on the dark side because I specifically added to the preset a radial filter. So here's my radial filter. I didn't have to create it. It came with the preset. So now I can just increase the brightness in here, pull this down a little, and presto manifesto, I have my edit. So guys, that's how you create a preset. So there you have it. Now you know how to create your very own Lightroom presets. Isn't that exciting? That's awesome. Now you can cut down on the time that you spend editing, and you can develop your own look for your images, and you can apply them across the board so your work looks consistent. Now, this doesn't mean that if you see a photographer selling their presets that you shouldn't buy it because you know better. The truth is that maybe this photographer that you're looking at spent a lot of time fine-tuning his presets to achieve a very specific look, and you just can't put your finger on it. Like, how are they doing this? What are they doing to their images to look like this? Well, support that creator, support that photographer that is selling the presets, because at the end of the day, most presets are not that expensive. So I mean, what's $10 to buy a set of presets, right? So yeah, do it. Support that photographer that is selling their presets in order to achieve a look, and maybe you can learn something from them too. All right, you guys, I hope this video was really helpful to you, and you can take this information and apply it to your workflow, and that it would help you tremendously, and it will help you grow as a photographer, and spend less time editing and more time shooting or hanging out with your friends, hanging out with your family, and not spend so much time in front of the computer. So if this is information that you found valuable, please let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you have a question, if there's something that you want to learn photography related. Please let me know, and I'll try to address it on one of my videos. For now, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell so you're notified when the next video goes up, and yeah, super pumped. All right, you guys, for now, Michael out.